Stunning Lausanne, Switzerland. It's known around the world as the Olympic City, but for the past 12 years, it has also become known as Triathlon's second home, hosting the 1998 World Championships, multiple World Cup events, and several European Championships. Situated on the banks of Lake Geneva, it's the perfect host city with crystal clear waters, pristine landscapes, and of course, challenging terrain found nowhere else on circuit.
The largest field of the day would be the junior men, 108 junior boys taking off in Lausanne, and a large pack of men would come off the bike eventually after the 20-kilometer bike. Out onto the run, it was Great Britain's Brownlee who would claim the first title of the day, and the young man with a 15:47 title would run away from the Russian and the Portuguese athletes standing in second and third. On to the junior women's side, it would be all eyes on Spence from New Zealand, who had won the World Duathlon title. Coming off the bike, however, Spence certainly would not have the kind of run she would need. It would be the Canadian Kirsten Sweetland from Canada claiming that country's first ever World Junior Women's title. Second behind her from Bermuda, a fantastic race for Duffy, and the German would finish in third.
Coming into Lausanne, all eyes are on two-time European champ Vanessa Fernandez. So far this season, she's proven impossible to beat, and at just 20 years of age, she's definitely one of the top contenders to take the world title.
The Worlds are the race you want to be on the best, you know. I have for 3 weeks in stage, and it wasn't so a good stage. I have a little bit problem on my foot, and I have to stop a little bit of 1 week, but now I'm better, and I hope to be good on this weekend. But will be a hard race, hard swim. Of course, I want to be very good. I want to do better than the last year, but years are different and some days are different, so we'll see.
After winning her first World Cup event just 3 weeks ago, Joelle Fransman is riding a high and feeling fit coming into the World Champs. And with her strong swim-bike combination, this could be just the course for her.
It's a very other race, and yeah, we have to see what happens on Sunday, but I'm very happy with my victory, my first victory, and yeah, it's very nice. The last 3 weeks I climbed some hills at home, but yeah, I don't know if it's enough, but yeah, normally I'm a strong biker, and I think if the form is good, you can climb the hills, so it's no problem. 3 weeks ago my form was very good, so I think it's good too this weekend.
Emma Snowsill is the other top contender in the women's field. She has multiple World Cup victories already under her belt this season, and she's a two-time world champion. Today she hopes to make history with her third championship crown.
I guess Commonwealth Games for a start feels so long ago already, and I remember this time last year thinking, you know, Commonwealth Games is a long way away, and let alone World Championships. So look, it's finally here, and you know, I think that's what we do best in this sport is knowing and learning to prepare, you know, for each and every race that comes along. And obviously World Champs September, it's here, and I'm ready to go.
The race course in Lausanne is world famous for both its beauty and its challenges. Athletes start with a 2-lap lake swim in the chilly waters of Lake Geneva, making wetsuits mandatory for today's event. They follow that up with the most challenging element on course, the 40-kilometer bike ride. That features several challenging climbs up through narrow, winding city streets, followed by fast, technical descents on each lap. Following the bike stage, athletes have a flat, fast 10-kilometer run along the water and through neighboring parkland to cap off this beautiful triathlon course.
Well, the battle that everyone's been looking forward to, Vanessa Fernandez and Emma Snowsill, the sport's two titans for the first time in 2006, will be going head-to-head. It'll be more than just those two women, however, as we start to take a look down. Laura Bennett from the U.S., 3 medals at the last 3 World Championships, and Fransman from Germany. She had a World Cup victory just a few weeks ago. 75-plus women, just a little bit of breeze. A wetsuit swim, and they are off. It'll be a 2-lap, 1,500-meter swim. The athletes will go down just over 300-plus meters along Lake Geneva with Yvonne, France on the right-hand side and Lausanne, Switzerland on the left. And as the athletes start to come away, we can see 2 distinct packs starting to come together here It has been a very busy week of racing in Lausanne. It was the World Police Fire Games to start the week off. They had the World Aquathon Championships won by Sarah McClarty from the US and Richard Stannard from Great Britain. And then the age group race with almost 2,300 age group athletes from 60 plus countries. But now it's down to the main part of this weekend, and pushing the pace here very quickly is Laura Bennett from the United States. Bennett with 2 bronze medals already this year in World Cup racing. We have not seen her on the circuit for almost 3 months, so not really knowing what to expect from Laura Bennett, but she's a fantastic swimmer, as we've seen so many times in the past. And right now, U.S. swimmer Laura Bennett pushing the pace here early on in the women's 1,500 meter swim. A great aerial shot, taking a look down. DeMarco from Switzerland into that lead group as well. Liz Blatchford, who just made the team at the Salford race. She had to get a top 10 at that event to even get a start at these World Championships. She's well positioned. And Vanessa Fernandez, we understand, is back in about 5th spot as they come to the water. And it is Laura Bennett at the end of 1 lap. They'll go back onto the pontoon, dive back into the water. And Vanessa Fernandez sitting in a great spot right there. Sarah Haskin from the U.S. back in 6th spot as we take a look. Becky Lavelle, Lauren Groves from Canada having a great swim right now. She's in about 9th spot as they go through. Jessica Harrison, but back at a sizable gap now just coming out of the water was Emma Snowsill, so she is going to have to make up some time as she goes through this second 750 meter swim. It's the U.S. team well established into the lead. Laura Bennett up into that lead group, as we said. Also Sarah Haskin, the Japanese athlete Fratani, into that lead group. But surprisingly, Emma Snowsill significantly back, about 28 seconds at the end of that first 750 meters, and she is going to have to really work hard through this second loop. It was a wetsuit swim, just under 20 degrees Celsius, perfect conditions. They were looking for rain and cold weather today. Well, it's about 26 degrees in the air and absolutely blue sky as the crowds have come out in huge numbers to support the BG World Championships here in Lausanne, Switzerland. Laura Bennett continuing to push the pace as they come back towards the shore. And we're into the final stages now of this 1,500 meter swim. They'll be just over 19 minutes as they come to shore, and it is Laura Bennett just out of the water. Blatchford just seconds behind her. Franzman in that group as well as they come out of the water. Kathy Tremblay from Canada, Becky Lavelle into that group. And as they make their way the 100 meters from the shore back up to their bikes, we are still waiting for Emma Snowsill, and she has just come out of the water, so about 20 plus seconds back. Andrea Whitcomb with a great swim as well. Warner from New Zealand, she's had a very sizable swim. That is great for her as we're taking a look now. The chase group of athletes starting to come back out of the water right now on the bottom of the screen. Sandra Soldan just about to come up, and up at the top of the screen, our leaders are out of the water. They are already to the bike. Vanessa Fernandez with a great swim. Just a year ago at the World Championships, she had a disappointment, did not meet that lead pack. Well, today she's ahead of Emma Snow, so we'll have to see if Snowsill's able to catch on to this pack. It'll be under 20 minutes as they go out to start their 7-lap, 40-kilometer bike ride, and it is going to be a gutsy course. Snowsill just starting to come into the screen, and she'll head out onto that course right now. So Emma Snowsill, as things change, now trying to catch on to this bike.
First out of the water was American Laura Bennett, but hot on her heels were many of the other pre-race favorites, including World Cup points leader Fernandez. However, defending champ Snowsill was out of the top 12.
Well, this might be one of the gutsiest courses we have ever seen, and there's Franzman just to the right of the screen. Vanessa Fernandez right in the middle of the screen, and this is the kind of bike course that she loves. Technical, past world champion athletes have raced all over Europe on this type of course, and you have to believe the European athletes are well suited for this very hilly course. A lead group of about 20 athletes right now pushing through, and Emma Snowsill has caught on to this group. So the two-time world champion is in a position right now to repeat for number 3. And the battle between Vanessa Fernandez and Emma Snowsill will continue as both of those women in this lead group. And you can see that 12% climb right now as they're coming in through the town. They're now back along the section where the wind will be blowing right into their face. And Sybil Matter from Switzerland pushing the pace here very quickly on this 7-lap, 40-kilometer ride. They're coming right back through the transition zone, and they'll have the first opportunity to get some information from their coaches to see. Sybil Matter trying to get somebody to take the lead. That is just behind her, Samantha Warner from New Zealand. The athletes just coming back into the screen right now, and the Swiss athletes very well established, and you have to believe as they hit this hilly section on the second time around that some of the athletes who might just be a little over their heads will now start to try to desperately hang on to this very, very talented elite group. We can see our chase group of athletes now starting to just catch back on, just another 8 to 10 seconds down. And a few of the athletes who were sizably back out of the water, Marianne O'Hara, Anya Dittmeyer, the 6-time World Cup winner, as well Ricarda Lisk and Debbie Tanner from New Zealand. Just coming into the screen, that is a combination of Vanessa Fernandez and Emma Snowsill, and those two women both desperately are going to be watching each other today. They know it's the battle that everyone's been looking for, and the two women who have dominated 2006 right now side by side. Vanessa Fernandez, 10 consecutive World Cup wins going back to 2004. She's a 2-time European champion, both at the 23 and under and the senior ranks, and she was 4th at last year's World Championships, and she considered that to be a disappointment. Coming back into the screen right now, it is time for the athletes to start to decide who has been using too much energy. You can see the chase group of athletes now starting to latch back on from behind, and some of the athletes working very hard, the Europeans, into that chase group. We know they're great cyclists, and they're really starting to pull the pace up. Back into our climb once again, and one of the athletes who had a very weak swim, we understand that her wetsuit was open through part of the swim, and she's now really starting to put the pace on this bike, and that's Felicity Abram from Australia, the former 2003 World Junior Champion, really pushing the pace on the bike. She is fantastic on the climbs, and Felicity Abrams pushing the pace here at the 2006 World Championships. Starting to take a look right now that is Laura Bennett, we think, from the US, and Bennett really have not seen her for about 3 months. Whether or not she's got the goods today, we'll see through the late part of this bike course. The World Championships, a very special place, and the Australians have been oh so dominating over the years, winning 10 of the women's world titles over the last 16 years. That's absolute domination. Memory back to last year when Emma Snowsill and Annabelle Wexford won 2 with Laura Bennett 3rd across the line. They are continuing to force the pace here, and some of the stronger cyclists, Sybil Matter right there from Switzerland, you know that she is trying to push to get away on this course. The very, very powerful Swiss athlete will certainly have home course advantage as we look down on beautiful Lausanne, Switzerland, the Olympic city as the IOC museum here, and back on to the lead group right now as we are trying to get the women now starting to accumulate over 24 into this lead group. And you have to believe with some of the best runners still behind, and Ricarda Lisk and Debbie Tanner, this group does not want to get any larger. Across the blue carpet here, it's 7 laps total, 2 hills on each of the laps, and the legs starting to burn on these women right now as they're coming back into the hilly section of this course. Tanja Hebrich from Austria just into the screen. She was 5th in Aqaba, 6th in the Richards Bay Triathlon. And as she pulls back up beside Felicity Abram, 2 of the better cyclists in the sport trying to get away. Again, just perfect conditions for racing here. Just a little bit of a wind, but the athletes have about 26 degrees Celsius and blue sky, sunny day on what was supposed to be cold and rainy. Well, the Lausanne Good Luck certainly has been absolutely enjoyed by a crowd of over 80,000+. Andrea Hewitt, the 2005 23 and under world champion, trying to accelerate up the hill. She was a part of a crash earlier on this year and still not back to complete health as the 23 and under world champion from last year and bronze medalist from the Commonwealth Games here trying to have her first elite world championships. That's Snowsill at the back of that group right now, and acknowledge where Snowsill is sitting. She's realizing that very likely it's going to come down to the run, and at the front of that pack, well, that is Vanessa Fernandez working very, very hard, and at the back of the pack, the much more experienced Emma Snowsill looking like she's saving her legs for the very hard 10-kilometer run ahead. Our elite women now continuing to force. They realize that it is going to be a very important 10K run. And here they are coming off the bike. Vanessa Fernandez into that lead group. Felicity Abram as well. Kathy Tremblay from Canada just coming into that group. It is going to be 4 laps, 10 kilometers on the run. And the silver outfit of Vanessa Fernandez just coming into the screen right there. Kathy Tremblay from Canada, the national 23 and under champion on a couple of occasions. She was top 10 at last year's World 23 and under champs. This is her first elite championships. And as the women get ready to head off, it'll be in about 10th spot. Emma Snowsill just starting to work her way out onto the course. Becky Lavelle from the United States into that group, as well as the very talented Laura Bennett. Iota from Japan heading out there as well. Lauren Groves from Canada. The Australians, however, very well established as they head out onto this 4-lap course.
All eyes were on Vanessa Fernandez as she took off on the final 10-kilometer run stage in second place. Switzerland's hopes were riding high on DeMarco Mesmer, while Emma Snowsill was still struggling to make her mark on the event.
And here it comes, the battle we have all been looking for. Emma Snowsill from Australia in the white cap. Vanessa Fernandez from Portugal, the 10-time World Cup winner in a row, trying to battle each other as they go out onto the course. It definitely looks like a 2-woman race. Back in the 3rd spot, Felicity Abram, who did so much work early on the bike, and Canada's Lauren Groves. But right now, the screen is on the Australian as she is starting to pull away. For the first time this year, we are seeing Vanessa Fernandez starting to show some exertion as Emma Snowsill, the 2-time world champion, continuing to dominate. She won the Commonwealth Games earlier this year, 2 World Cups last year, 2 World Cups this year. She is in absolutely phenomenal shape. Her only loss this year in Chicago just a few days before the World Championships. As we look back to Franzmann from Germany, who had her first World Cup win just a few weeks ago, trying right now to have her best ever performance at the World Championships. Franzmann from Germany pushing the pace right now as we start to lead up into Groves and Felicity Abrams sitting in 3rd and 4th spot. In 2nd now, clearly being dropped, is Vanessa Fernandez from Portugal. Remember, she is just 20 years of age, has never been on the podium at the World Senior Championships. Her best was 4th last year. Emma Snowsill trying to become the first woman ever to win 3 world titles. 3 other women have done that. Karen Smyers from the US with 2, Emma Carney from Australia with 2, the great McKillie Jones with 2, but no woman has ever won 3. Well, right now, Emma Snowsill in a position to do that. First Snowsill, 2nd Vanessa Fernandez as she is trying to hang on right now. A battle between the Canadian on the right, Lauren Groves, who has never been on the podium even in a World Cup race, her best ever 4th. And right now, Lauren Groves from Canada sitting in 3rd, Felicity Abram sitting in 4th spot as they go through the 3-kilometer mark. Moving back up to Emma Snowsill, and she is moving on an incredible pace right now, mid-33, 10-kilometer pace. That is absolutely phenomenal. Many of the men won't run that fast today. Groves from Canada right now being dropped as Felicity Abram, the woman who had problems in the water with her wetsuit, had a phenomenal bike ride, and right now the Australians continuing to show their domination at the World Championship level. Abram, a past World Junior Champion back in 2003, has really had quite a spotty World Cup record, nothing better than 6th. And as we're looking right now to the left of the screen, as Vanessa Fernandez passing an athlete already 1 lap down. The crowd have come out in huge numbers to support these athletes here in Lausanne, Switzerland. It has been a very busy week, and you can see the gap between Vanessa Fernandez and Emma Snowsill, as Snowsill seeing the support of her countrymen, and they have been all over this course. Groves right now still hanging on to 4th spot. Looking up to Felicity Abram, who this would be a breakthrough for her on the senior championship level if she's able to get on the podium today. Abram, as we said, a gold medalist at the 2003 World Championships, but really 6th, the best that she's been able to do on the World Cup circuit. And if she's able to break through here today, that would be a significant jump for that woman. Emma Snowsill continuing that in very, very fast turnover. And as she continues to just touch the pavement, the rest of the athletes now starting to really show fatigue. The air temperature continuing to heat up here in Lausanne, Switzerland. And as Vanessa Fernandez tries to take on some fluid, it is the Australian who has 5 World Cup wins out of 10 podiums in her career, running away what will become a historic 3rd World Championship. Still the men to come, as we are now looking back to the Italian Cortassa, who is 5th at the Olympic Games, 5th at the World Championships, and right now she finds herself in 5th place at these 2006 World Championships. It is Emma Snowsill continuing to run away from Vanessa Fernandez. The battle that we have anticipated, well, it is the Australian showing that she certainly still has the stronger legs. Felicity Abrams right now sitting back in 3rd place, as we're looking at some athletes who are down by 1 complete lap on the leaders. Final lap now for these 2006 World Championships in Lausanne, Switzerland. And as our aerial shots along Lake Geneva looking down on the leaders, you see the incredible running force of an absolutely powerhouse in Emma Snowsill. Vanessa Fernandez, who won the World Cup race in Beijing last year on just a few days after turning 20 years of age, showed great respect in the press conference just how much she thinks of Emma Snowsill. She still considers her to be the dominating woman in the world, and today really we're getting another one of those fantastic shows of brilliant running. Cortassa right now pulling up beside the Canadian, and they're running 4th and 5th. But it looks like history is going to be made as Emma Snowsill looks over her shoulder and realizes that she has been able to run away from the woman who has 10 consecutive World Cup wins. And Emma Snowsill, in front of a crowd of in excess of 100,000 here in Lausanne, Switzerland, the Olympic city, will add the first time ever a woman has 3 world titles. Emma Snowsill from Australia will become the 2006 BG World Champion, taking number 3 title, 2:04:03 with a 33-minute, 32-second, 10-kilometer run. An absolute domination after an average swim. It looked like she might get dropped out of that pack. And here comes Vanessa Fernandez. She is going to add her first senior medal to her title. And the 10-time World Cup winner, 2-time European champion, is going to cross the line in 2nd. And the domination of 1-2 women in the world continues here as the 2 best women, 2:04:48 for Vanessa Fernandez, a 34-22-kilometer run. And those 2 women put on a tremendous display here. 3rd across the line will be Felicity Abrams from Australia. That is a breakthrough for that woman, 2:05:14. And the Canadian will be making her way in across the line. What an amazing finish for Lauren Groves. Last year she was nearly last, 4th today, and Cortassa from Italy will finish in 5th.
I guess that's my minor advantage, you know, my very small advantage over Vanessa is if I can get something on the swim and try and keep away from her. So, you know, I guess I never like to leave it to the run with Vanessa. We never really run head to head. And, you know, I know her results, I know the athlete she is, and I didn't want to leave it to that. But, you know, it came down to that today, and thank goodness, like I said, I'm rested and just gave everything I had.
When I start on the run, I saw the beginning. Well, today I'm not running as well. Like the last year, I ran very fast on the 1st kilometer, and this year, in the 1st kilometer was very, very hard for me. And what I have to say, Emma was a machine today, so she wins again. But you know, I will try to beat her one day for the next year, or maybe for the next race, or. I mean, I don't know. I have the Olympics in 2008, so I have time.
I've kind of like been thinking in my head, oh geez, wouldn't it be good to get on the podium? And it's kind of like, I'd have to have a perfect race to do that, but I think so many things went wrong. Like, I didn't know how I was going to even get out of the water. Someone pulled down my wetsuit after the first lap, and I kind of just like hung in there, kind of pulled my shoulders back, trying not to get the water in, and just thought, okay, got to get through the swim. I know I can push it up the hills, and it must have been the adrenaline or something. And just tried to do everything right for the rest of the race, and I'm stoked.
So after an unconventional race from behind, Emma Snowsill makes history with her third World Championship crown, just ahead of rival Vanessa Fernandez. Further back, Switzerland's top athlete crossed the line in 11th overall.